We're beginning with some new developments in the controversy over misinformation about COVID on Spotify, specifically on Joe Rogan's popular podcast. So it all began when rock legend Neil Young asked Spotify to either remove his music or the podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. Young and others say episodes of Rogan's show promote false information about COVID-19 and the vaccines. Spotify honored Young's request and removed his music. The streaming service said yesterday that it's working to add content advisories before any podcast episode that discusses the virus. Rogan said last night that he agrees with those advisories, but also defended his program.
My point of doing this is always just to create interesting conversations and ones that I hope people enjoy. So
Joe Rogan struck an apologetic but defensive tone late Sunday night, responding to accusations that he is responsible for spreading false statements on his show, The Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm not trying to promote misinformation. I'm not trying to be controversial.
But his show, a Spotify exclusive and the #1 podcast on the platform, has spread misinformation, including claims that the drug ivermectin is an effective treatment for COVID and that microchips are in vaccines. Last month, he spoke with 2 doctors known for promoting vaccine falsehoods.
They have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative. I wanted to hear what their opinion is.
These doctors and nurses are on the front lines. They're dying. You don't turn your back on them for power or money. You stand with them.
Nils Lofgren, the guitarist in Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band and who also tours with Neil Young, joined him and Joni Mitchell by removing his music from Spotify over misinformation on Rogan's show. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek said in a blog post Sunday that the company has a critical role to play in supporting creator expression while balancing it with the safety of our users, adding it's important that Spotify doesn't take on the position of being content censor.
It's not about any censorship. We're all for free speech. We just don't want to be associated with misinformation and lies that are killing Americans.
COVID misinformation has been a battle for tech companies for the past 2 years, as Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok have all faced criticism for handling users' posts. Bloomberg Media and entertainment reporter Lucas Shaw said Spotify has largely escaped this debate until now.
Spotify took a big step today in acknowledging that it needed to do something and it needed to more aggressively police misinformation, but believes that sort of a less is more approach when it comes to content moderation.
So let me just share with our viewers some of the actual numbers. The CDC says unvaccinated adults are 68 more times at risk of dying than fully vaccinated and boosted adults. Check these out. Hospitalization rates for the unvaccinated, that number shoots up as high as 90 people for every 100,000. So those are the numbers.
So Rogan,
those are the facts.
Those are the facts. And I just want to point out that when I had a conversation with Nils yesterday, I asked him and said, some are saying that you're trying to censor Joe Rogan. He's very clear. He believes in the First Amendment. He believes that Joe Rogan and anybody else has a First Amendment right to say whatever they want. He says he doesn't want his music, his artistry associated with the platform that would allow misinformation.
Does he say other artists will follow suit?
He's talking to a lot of artists. We don't have any names yet, but we'll see.
I mean, these musicians are not going to win this battle. You have a First Amendment right to say what you want. You don't have a First Amendment right to appear on a platform as large as Spotify. That's the issue. Joe Rogan is correct that the medical world gets stuff wrong, but there's a process by which the medical world corrects itself, and that process is not interviewing guys on the fringe of the medical world on your massive platform. That's called irresponsible. It's not censorship. Right. Editors are not censors. They're ensuring quality.
The other problem, too, is people say, well, just turn it off. You don't have to listen to it. The thing is, a lot of people do listen to it, and they're getting false, incorrect information, and that's why it seems so dangerous.
And it matters.
Huge reach. He has a huge reach.
He just says he's having a conversation. But that's what Joe Rogan will say.
Yeah, but it's a life or death issue. That's why it's in a special category. It's not an opinion about space or something.